Hi, it's Amy from the Northwest Fire District. Today we're going to be talking about how to be safe online. We're going to talk about what to do when you see something online that makes you feel bad, how to protect things about you that are personal, why it's important to never meet face-to-face with someone you meet online, and why it's important to be nice to everyone online. So when we say online, we aren't just talking about things like computers, all right? So there's also laptops, cell phones, tablets, gaming systems, right? So things like the Xbox, the PlayStation, all of these items are connected to the internet. So my question to you is, which of these do you use to go online? So let's talk about some of the different things that we can do online. So we have things like video games, drawing, pictures, um, watching movies, listening to music. Some of you are even connecting with your friends online by sharing pictures and videos. Some of you are coding or even creating your very own websites. But not everything online is meant for kids, which means some of you may see something online that you don't understand. It may even make you sad. It can be pictures or videos of people fighting or even using inappropriate language. So even if you didn't mean to find it, some things can make you uncomfortable or even confused. So let's talk about our first safety tip. Safety tip number 1. If anything online makes you feel sad, scared, or confused, you need to tell a trusted adult. And that can be anyone. That can be your mom or your dad, a guardian, grandma or grandpa, an older sibling, an aunt, an uncle. But find somebody that is an adult that you trust, that you feel like you can go to if something like this was to happen while you were online. So some of what's online is really for adults only. You may see something that you weren't supposed to. So if you see something online that makes you feel bad, you need to remember to use the back button, all right? And you guys all know where that back button is on your computer, okay? And what's really great is by pressing the back button, it's going to take you to the last screen that you were on. And if you can't remember to do that, go ahead and just turn the monitor of your computer or whatever device you're on, go ahead and just turn it off. Now remember, if you see something online that makes you feel uncomfortable, sad, scared, or confused, what are we going to do? That's right. We're going to tell a trusted adult. It's not always going to be your fault. The internet is gigantic, and sometimes it's hard to find our way around the internet, and sometimes we end up taking a wrong turn, all right? And just remember that a trusted adult is going to be able to help you either report it or just talk to you about what you saw, and to be able to help you to feel better. All right, let's talk about safety tip number 2. Ask a parent or guardian before sharing personal information. Personal, what does that mean? Well, personal means it's about you. You want to make sure to keep this information to yourself and only share it with a parent or guardian. There's a ton of information a person can share online, but some of it is personal. So before you share anything personal, you need to always check with your parent or guardian first. So there are some things that are okay to share online, like your favorite ice cream, or maybe even your dog's name. So let's talk about some of those things that you guys should never share about yourselves online, such as your age. Nobody needs to know how old you are, right? That's personal information. How about your address? Nobody needs to know your address either, or what school you go to, even the name of your school, and especially your email address. All of these items are personal, and they're personal to you, and nobody needs to know that information. And we talked earlier about even if somebody pressures you into providing that information, you don't need to do that. So again, remember that safety tip number 1 is to tell a trusted adult. So if you are interacting or chatting with somebody online and you start to feel like they're pressuring you into providing you this information, make sure you let that trusted adult know. Okay, so what could happen if people online didn't find out your personal information? Well, did you know that they could send you a virus? And a virus is like a cold or a germ that can make your computer sick. So they're not sending you, but they're going to send your computer a virus. And if your computer gets a virus, it may cause your computer to run slowly or even stop working. All right? Now, also people who know your personal information can also pretend to be you online. All right? And that wouldn't be very nice, just to have somebody to pretend that they were you online. So let me ask you a question. Do any of your parents buy things online? I do, which means I'm guessing probably your parents do also, right? Well, they usually need to use a special name or a password to sign in before they can buy anything. But if they were to share that information, or even you were to share that information with people online who you didn't know, somebody could buy something with your parents' card and information, or their money could even be stolen. So now let's talk about some examples of when you may be asked personal information and what you should do. So sometimes when you want to play a game or even enter a website, they may ask you to sign up. All right, so it's probably looks similar to this. And there may be a form to fill out where they're going to be asking you your name, your email, or even other information. And if your parent or guardian approves of the website, it's okay to sign up with their help. But you should never sign up for a website or download anything on your phone, your tablet, or even your computer without checking with your grown-up or adult first. Now, not every website is going to ask you to sign up, and not every website that does ask you to sign up is going to be safe. So let me ask you, do any of you know what a pop-up is? Does that look familiar to you? Okay. Well, a pop-up is a little box that just pops up, even if you didn't click on anything. And many of these pop-ups are really flashy and colorful. And some may even promise you a reward for entering your personal information. All right, well, don't do it. All right. So if any of this pops up, make sure that you're going to be clicking the X in the corner of the pop-up, okay? Or even clicking that back button. We talked about the back button earlier. And if you're unsure about anything or having trouble getting rid of the pop-up, ask a trusted adult for help. So talking to other people while you're playing games or building your own virtual world can be really, really fun. But when you talk to them, remember never to share that personal information. Stick to talking about the game. So you don't need to know somebody's name or where they go to school to play games with them. So don't ever let anybody pressure you into talking about personal things. Now, there's something really important to remember about talking to people online. You don't really know them, right? Okay. So when we meet someone in person, it's easy to get to know them because we can see them. But online, the only thing we know is what they say, and they can be saying anything. So remember, sometimes people online aren't who they say they are, or you may think you are talking to another kid, but you could actually be talking to an adult pretending to be a kid. So imagine being in a room with your eyes closed. And if somebody told you that the room was pink, how could you be sure that they were telling you the truth? Well, you'd have to open your eyes, right? So you can't trust everything people say online. So since you can't be sure who somebody is, it's best to just stay online friends and not meet them. All right, so online friends, go ahead and just keep them online. So our safety tip number 3 is about meeting people. Never meet face-to-face with anyone that you meet online or from the internet. And a good rule of thumb is, again, to keep online friends online. Have you ever heard the term netiquette? I had never heard of the term netiquette until I started putting together this video for you guys about being safe online. So I have a short video for you guys to watch that's going to talk a little bit more about netiquette. Here we go.
Roseline Public School presents a special news report on netiquette.
Brought to you by the students of Mr. Solomon's 4th grade class.
Hi, I'm Priya Gill, and this is my classmate and co-host, Anthony Ferreira.
And we're here to bring you a special news report on netiquette.
Throughout our newscast, we'll be talking to the students of Rosevine Public School, and later on, we'll be hearing from some experts on cyberbullying.
So, why are we doing this?
You can thank our teacher, Mr. Solomon.
Yes, viewers, after giving several exciting lessons on netiquette, Mr. Solomon wanted to see how much of what he said actually stayed in our brains.
And instead of answering the usual quiz, he asked us to do a newscast.
Exciting stuff. Now let's get to it.
Let's find out what our class correspondents, Emma, Gavin, and Grace, found out when they hit the hallways, mics in hand, and asked the students of Rosevine Public School these questions.
First, our correspondent Emma asked, "What is netiquette?"
I think netiquette is a set of rules to properly behave on the internet.
It's made up of two words, net and etiquette, and it's a set of rules for nice behavior online.
Well, I think netiquette is having good manners online and treating others online as you would treat them in real life.
Then Gavin asked, what are some examples of netiquette?
Some examples of netiquette are respecting other people's privacy and remembering that when you post something online, it can go everywhere.
Well, I think an example of netiquette is if something's meant to be funny, then you could put a little smiley to show that you're joking.
Some examples of netiquette are if you get a bad text message or email, don't respond to the person electronically. Go to the person on your own in real life because what the person said might not be intended what he or she meant to say.
Then Grace asked, "What examples of lack of netiquette do you see online with your friends?"
Some examples of lack of netiquette that I see online are people who say really rude words online, except words that they wouldn't say in real life.
I do not see netiquette when I'm talking to my friends online, but when I'm talking to my grandparents online, I do see netiquette.
Well, sometimes people don't use netiquette and they put their words in capital letters as if they're yelling.
Nice work, correspondents. Priya, how about we recap and add some more info?
Good idea. Netiquette is made up of two words.
Internet, etiquette.
What's the internet? That's a no-brainer.
But what does etiquette mean?
Etiquette is a set of rules for everybody on how to behave properly.
You know, like not calling people names, or being polite, like saying please and thank you.
Etiquette is basically treating people how you'd like to be treated, with RESPECT, respect.
Well put.
Thank you. When you smush internet and etiquette together, you get netiquette.
Netiquette is a set of rules for everybody on how to behave properly, online.
We know who wants more rules.
But netiquette rules can help you make the time you spend online fun and safe.
And we all like to have fun.
And we all have the right to be safe.
So you see, netiquette is a win-win situation.
Okay, what are some examples of netiquette?
Netiquette. Well, I'd never do this in real life. Meet me after school! When you write in all capital letters in emails, on discussion boards, or while messaging, the person reading your message may think you're yelling at them. Why would I do it online? Yelling is just rude. Don't you think, Priya? Oh, I can see by the emoticons you're holding that you're surprised and mad. Interesting.
Yeah, that's how I feel when someone yells at me for no reason.
Yes, sirree. Add a couple of emoticons when you're right, and people will have a good idea how you're feeling. Where were we?
All right, so netiquette. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about netiquette and the importance of it and being kind online. So our safety tip number 3 is going to be use good netiquette and never be rude or mean online. All right, so we've come to the end of our Being Safe Online video. Let's quickly review our safety tips. So safety tip number 1, tell a trusted adult. So if ever you are online and something makes you feel sad, scared, confused, even uncomfortable, make sure you tell a trusted adult. And remember, that trusted adult can be your mom or your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, an aunt, an uncle, an older brother, or an older sister. But make sure you know who that trusted adult is going to be and never be afraid to talk to them about it. And safety tip number 2, always ask a parent or guardian before sharing any personal information. Your personal information, your name, your age, your address, the school you go to, even your email, even passwords, that is personal information and nobody needs to know that and nobody should ever pressure you into providing that information. And safety tip number 3, never meet face-to-face with anyone from the internet. Remember we talked about they can be anybody. Somebody could be pretending to be an adult, somebody could actually be pretending to be a kid and actually be an adult. So we never ever meet anyone face-to-face that we've met online. And safety tip number 4, use good netiquette, never be rude or mean online, okay? So if you are one of those people that maybe you're finding you're not as nice as you should be online, now's a good time to start practicing netiquette. All right, have a wonderful day and remember those safety tips for being safe online.